If you didn't know, Teams is a collaboration tool. You can use it in your organization to organize communications, files, meetings, project tasks, and much more. So today we're going to go over 3 things that you need to know about Teams. The 3 things are chat, Teams, and calendar. When I was starting to record this video, I was thinking of, hey, Chatty Cathy, and I thought it was funny. And then I looked it up and I didn't even know. Did you know that Chatty Cathy is a doll? Here's the 1960 version, and here's the 1961 version. Let me know in the comments which one you like more. But I thought that was interesting because I had no idea it was a doll. And I'm sure tons of people knew, but I didn't. So fun fact for the day. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hop over to the computer and we're going to cover those 3 things that we just talked about: chat, Teams, and calendar. As we jump in, my name is Josiah and I'm a consultant at Next Tech Consultants. If you're having any issues with things in this video or any other videos that we've made, feel free to reach out to us by email at support@nexttechconsultants.com. You can also find us on all social media platforms at NextTechNT. It also just brings me joy to respond to people's comments in the comments below. So if you have questions, just go ahead and feel free to share that. I love responding to them. And while you're down there, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps us out. I always hate that part, talking about myself. So thanks for bearing with it. But let's go ahead and jump over to the computer and we're going to talk about 3 things you need to know about Teams. Remember, that's chat, Teams, calendar. All right, item number 1 is chat. We all know that we like the water cooler talk to check in with our coworkers. So this is the place to do it. You can chat with coworkers about projects, life, or anything else that your heart desires. However, just remember that this is also your work or school, and it can be audited should they ever need to. So just keep it professional. Just a reminder. Okay, to start a new chat, you go over to this little bubble over here on the left and you click on chat. This pulls me up automatically, just chatting with myself. So I can do that if you want, like, hello, myself. But you probably don't want to just chat with yourself because some people do. I actually chat with myself a lot. But go ahead and click new chat up here in the top, this little compose icon. And you're going to put who you want to chat to in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the email I want to chat to. It's myself again. And then I'm going to just send a chat. So test. And that person has now received the chat and they can respond. All right, now you can see the response there. And you guys can just have a normal conversation through chat. Some other really cool things about chat is you can send content. So if you ever want to send a file, a picture, or anything like that, you go down to the bottom right down here and you click the plus sign and you can attach a file or a picture. You can record something if you have a camera in there. You can even schedule a meeting here. But that's how you would do that, is you go ahead and attach a file and you send it to them. If you ever want to play a joke on a coworker to get them to, get a lot of notifications during their time, you can set delivery option to urgent and it will actually notify them every 2 minutes for the next 20 minutes until they see it. So fun fact, use it with great power comes great responsibility. Now, another thing that I have found that I haven't used much is called loop components. And if you click down here, it's this little spot right here. It's almost like a little P. And you can add bulleted lists. There's items you can use. What's fun is you can say, hey, you can add a voting table. Doesn't make sense on a one-on-one chat, but this will come in more if it's in like Teams. But you can add a title. You can add in like, what's your idea? What are the pros and cons? And people can then click this button and vote. So there's a lot of different loop components that you can add that help with your conversation. Now, just enjoy this area. It's for you to chat with your coworkers about work, life. If you ever want to, you can also chat with multiple people. So I could add in Josiah, and then I could add in Matthew, and I can send a conversation to multiple people once, and we can all talk together as well. All right, now on to item number 2, Teams. I know this is confusing because the app is called Teams and there's a tab called Teams. Like when I first opened this app the very first time, I thought the Teams tab was the only thing that I would see in this app, but there is a lot more. So we're going to hop over, again to the computer, and we're going to show you it's a place you can store files, run projects, and there's a lot more you can do in here. This is really robust. We're going to hit a few key details. First thing I want to cover about Teams is selecting a team. So when you click on Next Tech Team right here, it's just kind of saying, hey, this is your team you're in. I've already been invited, and I can drop it down. I can go to general. I can also go to announcements. These are different areas that you can work in, different spaces within inside of your team. Now we're going to use general for the most part, and we're going to go to posts. There's posts here. Post is similar to chat, but it's like a threaded post. So you're going to create a post, and we're going to say test post, and you're going to create a message in here like hello, and we're going to post. And what people can do in this post is they can go ahead and click and reply to the comment. So this is like a chat section within your team to go over specific topics. So somebody else can come in here and reply and say hello back. And it's kind of like a chat within a post. So if you're working on a project, title your post the item that you want to talk about, and then just start chatting in there with all of the people in the team. The next tab I want to show you is Files. And Files is really powerful because this is the spot where you can just store files. This is sort of like Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Drive. This is the area where you store files that your team is working on. So any project files that you need to have with your team, put them here, and you can edit directly in here, or you can create new files, and you can even sync it to your computer, and it will show up. If you have OneDrive installed and logged in, it'll show up as a separate folder where you can use it like Dropbox, where it syncs to your computer. You can make edits, and then it automatically syncs it up here. So what I want to show you here, you can click new, click a Word document, and you're going to go ahead and be able to put in test doc. And so in here, now everybody in the team will see this Word document. And if you click this, what it's going to do is going to take you to Outlook web app where you can edit it. If you click it from in here, if you click sync, then what's going to happen is it's going to sync down, and you can edit it just like it was another file on your computer, and those updates will show here. You can go and close that. And if you ever want to see the file, you're going to open up your File Explorer, and you'll see this new spot called Next Tech Admin General. So if you click in here, and you'll see here that we have the Next Tech folder, and you'll click on it, and you'll see the test doc here. You can open this up on your computer, and you can go ahead and make edits just like I said. So you type in your edits here, you save it, and it will save it up to that document, and you're ready to go. And everybody else will see those changes as well. Now, this team was a specific project. And so you can go in here, you can do a project tracker. You can go and click new and create different work items that need to be completed, the start date, the due date, and it gives you a board here that you'll be able to see all of that. Let me go and add a couple real quick. All right, now you can see the two items that I've added. Test one, you can see when does it start, when is it due, and you can see who's assigned to it. This was my test MFA account. If you haven't noticed, this was another video I created on MFA, but that's who's assigned. If you go in here and you double click, it'll pull this up where it gives you more details. You can edit and add more, like a category, or you can just choose a category. You can go here, enter a description for a value. You can also add comments. If you put an @ in front of it, it will let you tag other people in the team and it'll notify them. Or you can just put your comment in blank and say, this is being delayed. And then it sends it and it comments, and you can see all of the changes I made show up here. Like I tagged it design. You can open up again and the comment is there. Finally, I think a really cool thing about teams is you get a site with every team. And in that site, this is an internal site unless they've decided to make it a public team. This is all editable. You can edit the site by clicking here, and then you can drag and drop things, move them around, move this over here, and you can go ahead and change everything the way you want. So you can edit this site completely, make it an internal site for your project, or you can change it to be an external site that's published out to the person you're working on the project for, and they'll be able to see whatever you want to show them here. Once you're done making all of your edits, just don't forget to hit republish, and it will publish those changes out to your site. And if you don't want to save your changes, you can hit discard changes and it will close it for you. And really quick, if you do want to create a new team, all you have to do is click this plus sign right here, and you're going to say create team. If you said create channel, it creates it under the team that you're already in. And all of these settings are dependent on what your organization has decided that your users can do. So you can go in here and click test 5, and that will be the next team. You're going to click create, and it starts creating the team. Once the team's created, you can go ahead and type in anybody you need to invite, or you can skip that. And now you can see here, my team is created. Now that's if you create a blank team here. One thing I want to show you before we move on to our next item is if you click add and create team, there's also a spot here that says more team options. This is really cool because they have pre-planned projects or events, onboarding stuff here that you can kind of play with if you're not familiar with teams, so you don't have to start from scratch. What I started with, and the one I was just showing you, was manage a project. And that gives you the site. It gives you all of that stuff that I just showed you. You can choose to say, hey, I need an instant response, or I need to organize a help desk, or you can even go in and say, I need to manage a store. So these are all different options you can use, and feel free to play around with them and see what works best for you. Finally, we're going to move on to item number 3, which is calendar. For the calendar, you will see all of your personal calendar items here. If you want to see shared calendars, then you really should be using Outlook, and you'll be able to see that there. That's a better spot for managing more calendars than just yours. This calendar is really meant for scheduling meetings, webinars, live events, and it is an easy place to join those meetings as well. Now on the computer, all you have to do is click calendar, and it's going to bring you in. You'll see here that I've already created a couple events. I have Ricard, which is well timed. I'm actually doing it on time. Not like I moved it around at all to make that work. And also we have webinar here. This was a test webinar that we set up, and we're going to go over both of these two types of things really quick. So to create a meeting, it's actually really easy. You can either just click new meeting here, or you can highlight the time spot that you want and say test meeting. This is where you'll add more attendees. And if it's an online meeting, because you're in Teams, it's obviously going to be a Teams meeting. Then once you do that, you can click save, and you will see here that the Teams meeting is right there. When you click on it, you have the option to join when it's time. If it's time for that specific meeting, like this one here, you can actually just click join right away, and you'll see that you can join the meeting. Now, if you want to create other meetings like we talked about, you can click this drop down right here. And I am going to put in the link below different things that describe each of these more. So the first one is going to be a Microsoft tutorial, which is a little bit harder to read, so I might not recommend that. The second one's going to be a blog that goes over meetings, webinar, and live events. That one's a little more easy to read. Live events also depends on the subscription you have. So we're not going to go over that today. But if you do want to create a webinar, it's actually pretty robust. It's kind of nice. So you click webinar. You're going to put in webinar, let's say webinar 5, because I don't really mind on the time, 7:30 to 8. We're going to change the date to the 18th, and we're going to click save. Once you click save, you have a bunch more options open to you. So you see, you can go and say, hey, we have presenters that we can add and do bios. So if you want to do that, you can go to the details page and do it. I'm not going to go too elaborate here, but I'm just going to do a general overview. You can do a configuration of the registration page, like how many people can attend. On the form that they fill out for registration, what are the fields that they should be doing? First, last, and email are always required. So you don't have to add those, but if you want to add anything else, you can do address, city, state, zip, or any sort of custom questions that you may want. Attendee status, once you publish it, it'll show you all of the people that are in the meeting. This is the emails that are automatically sent out. So which emails are going to happen and what automatically gets sent out. If you need to change it, you can change anything here. Reports are different reports that you can generate for your webinar. And then recordings, once it's done, you can go in and see the recording. So now we're going to click publish site, and it gives you this link right here. We're going to go ahead and click copy. And when we paste it into our browser, we're going to see here it's webinar 5 details, and I can go ahead and register. Like I said, first name, last name, and email address are always there. This is the Microsoft terms and conditions. If you had company terms and conditions, they would also show up here, but my company does not at this point. I'm going to click cancel because I'm not going to register. But then if you close this and go back to the event, what's really cool is you can also click on theming, and theming is what we saw on the registration page. We can say, hey, we need to change our banner. We need to change our logo, what color, and that gives you the ability to make the changes to the webinar. So when people sign up, it's more branded for your company. You also have to have privacy statement is not configured in your Active Directory. Reach out to your IT admin. I just haven't done it yet. Now, that's the 3 things that you need to know about Microsoft Teams. I hope this video helped you out in some way, and I really appreciate you watching it. Should you have any questions, like I said, feel free to drop a comment below. And since you're still here, make sure you like and subscribe this channel if you haven't already. It really does help me create more content like this to support you and your business. Until next time, I hope you have a great day or night, because it really depends on when you're watching this video. So either way, have a great one.